Hey everybody, welcome back to another lesson in programming in Python. I feel like it's been a while. We've been working really hard. You've been working on your projects. I'm really enjoying the games, the text-based adventure games. I swear it's some of the most complex games I've ever seen from a text adventure game from a bunch of beginning coders. I'm really impressed. So this is really exciting. Today I want to open up a new world to you because we've been programming function based. Now, Python is awesome because Python supports function based programming, but Python is also very supportive of object oriented programming. Object oriented programming is where it's at right now. That is the vast majority of the programming paradigms in the world. So we need to be comfortable with it. Python is built for it. Um, and it might be a little confusing at first, but soon you'll embrace it and it will just be the way you prefer to do everything. So, um, what is object oriented programming? Object oriented programming is about creating objects and then executing code upon that object or with that object. You've already been using object oriented programming, you just haven't really been talking or thinking in that style. Everything is an object in Python, which means that everything has variables and behaviors called methods. The When we say simply from turtle, and I'm using the shell here, import star, we imported a lot of different things. We imported, I think if I view my variables here, I might be able to even look at them. These are all the different things that we just inherited that we can use. And you'll see these words function here. And these are all things that if I just call them that they do it, right? One of them that I want to use though is a special thing, and that's called a class. So we've been using these down here called functions, where if I say simply forward, move this over a little bit, so I can call any one of these functions. By the way, I know it's confusing that at OXO344, that's their location in the memory. So all these things have to be loaded somewhere. So when I say forward 100, I'm executing, in this case, right here, that function right there, I just executed and moved the turtle forward, okay? But I want to do something a little different. I want to use object-oriented programming, which means I'm going to use these classes, okay? So you'll see the different classes we have. We have turtle screen, we have turtle, we have shape, we have screen, pin, raw pin. The ones that we're going to be using almost exclusively are turtle and screen. So we'll take a look at that. So here, watch as I do this. I'm going to use an assignment variable. We've already made variables before. We've assigned variables to words, which had quotes around them. We've assigned variables with numbers. Now we're going to assign variables with turtles. So we call what's called the turtle class constructor. So to call a constructor of a class, you say the name of the class. Let me pull up those variables one more time. I kind of got rid of them too quick. So I'm going to call the turtle class. And when you call a class with parentheses, sometimes they require you to put things in those parentheses, arguments inside of them. Just like print requires you to put what you want to print. Other times they don't. The turtle class supports both. So I can give it some preconditions like its shape that I want, so it makes a turtle of a different shape or style or whatever. But I'm just going to use class just like that. So remember, we looked at these variables. We saw that there was a turtle class. The way you create a turtle is you call the class. And you can see that it did bring up my Python graphics window. And so now it doesn't seem much different yet, but let me go ahead and do this. So I'm going to say hank.forward 100. So we're used to just saying forward 100, but now I'm going to say I want Hank. That's what I called my turtle. I could have called it any variable name. I just like to give them names because it's cute, right? Well, that being said, let's make another turtle. I'm going to say Carol gets an instance of turtle. Um, an instance of a class is what is a kind of a fancy word for saying just an object from that class. So again, when you want to use a class, let me just pull up that variable one more time. Whenever you want to use one of these classes that we've imported, you say the name of the class followed by parentheses. Notice that they're uppercase. That is typically the style with classes, as opposed to the lowercase turtle, which was the name of the module. The turtle class is capital T. Sometimes you can put parameters in here, like for a shape. You could say that what shape you want it to be sometimes. Like I could say turtle. I don't know if I have to say shape equals. But, oh, it did. It created a brand new turtle with a different initial settings. You know, look at Carol. Carol is already a turtle. Let's change Carol's color. And I'm going to make Carol turn left 90 degrees. And I'm going to make Carol go forward 150. So now Hank's still over here, y'all. Hank still looks like a sad little arrow, and that's fine. I'm going to let Hank go an arrow. I don't have any problem with an arrow. We'll make Hank turn right 45. We'll make Hank go forward. So already I think you can see the benefit. Up to this point, you haven't been able to control more than one turtle at a time. Now, I still have to execute one turtle line of code at a time, but we're going to learn there's all sorts of cool things you can do. You can tell the screen when to flip, so I could draw in the background, and then in between each frame, I can move one turtle one place, one turtle another. So it gives us a lot of different things that we can do. So I want to make it very clear. When I call Hank.forward, because I'm not using a function, I'm calling something on Hank. Only Hank moved. When I tell Carol to move, only Carol moved. Those are called methods. A method is just like a function, but you call it on an object. So lots of vocabulary here, but it's the same vocabulary you'll hear me say for 4 years if you stay with me. The turtle class, we call it, it creates a turtle object, also called an instance. We store it in a variable. I take that variable and I call a method, which is like a function, but you call it, notice the little dot. We call that the dot operator, Hank.forward. All right. I'll tell you what, let's do something a little bit different. I'm gonna restart my shell. So I think we can just maybe if I say like stop, yeah, that'll restart my shell. So I just hit the stop button, then I'll hit clear. I want to start with a clean slate. Again, I am still having some people turn in the shell. Remember, when you code up here and you say new, that's a file that you get to run over and over again. Shell, great for learning, great for interactive coding, but when I want to program, it needs to be permanent. All right, so let's do this. From turtle, import star. Again, if I was to look at my variables right now, I have no variables. As soon as I import star, I'm going to import a ton. I could just import turtle. I could say from turtle import turtle, and then that's all I would have is that one class. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. So I have imported turtle instead of star. Star means everything. You'll notice that my variables now include only the turtle. So just a little bit different. This is actually a preferred way of doing it, y'all. I just put a from turtle import star at the beginning because it's easier, I think, at the beginning instead of to import each and every little thing you have to do. Okay, I'm going to make some turtles. Like Jed, that's my name, will be a turtle. Oh no, I misspelled something. All right, see? Okay. It's an awful lot of red. You even brought up the assistant to get mad at me for one little E. All right, I got Jed. Jed.color purple. All right, that looks good. My wife is named Sue. She'll be a turtle as well. Sue.color orange. I have a daughter named Aura. Okay. I have a son named Lucas, but I'll just use Luke. He usually doesn't like that. He prefers Lucas, but Lucas lets typing. and he can be blue. So I just keep stacking these turtles on top of each other, and that's okay. And then I got one other son named Caleb. Turtle. Caleb dot color is going to be green. All right, that's my family. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make what's called a list. I'm going to take all my family, I'm going to put them in a list. The way you make a list in Python is with these square brackets. So I'm going to call it family, and this is a brand new variable type for y'all, a list. So you make that square bracket that's right above the quote line, and you just list them. Jed, Sue, Aura, Luke, and Caleb. I've got a family. Now, you've already learned about the for loop, right? So watch as I use that. I'm going to say for I in range. Now, how many different members are in my family? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to say in range 5. I'm going to say family, and then I put square bracket again because it's a list, and then I put I. So, you know what? This is too much real quick. I'm getting carried away. I do this one at a time. All right. So, when you have a list, the way you access a specific person in a list is you say the name of the list and you put the square bracket again, but this time you put an index in. So, this first person here, Jed, that is actually 0. We start counting at 0. We talked about that with loops, really common. It's going to be the same. It works perfectly with loops that way. So Jed is 0, Sue is 1, Aura is 2, Luke is 3, Caleb is 4. So the size of the list is 5, but the indexes go from 0 to 4. So if I say family bracket 0 dot forward 100, we should see Jed, who is purple, go forward because he is the person that is in position 0. Now I'm going to say family bracket 1. Now that's Sue. She's going to turn 90 degrees. Again with the assistant. Oh, turn. Sorry. We're in my computer science 2 and 3 class. We're doing something with a different application, and turn is how you turn. But I forgot here it's left and right. See, I get confused just like everybody else. I'm going to turn left. Who's got? No, not me. I want Sue. So family bracket 1, turn left 90. And we should see Sue, who is orange. Let's make her go forward. And I could also just call Sue to make her go forward, but I'm practicing using this list as well. So, so you're kind of learning two things. You're learning about how to make different objects, and you're learning about a list and how you can store stuff. So, let's try family bracket 4. Who's that going to be? Well, that's going to be Caleb. I'll say backward 200. Caleb is what, green? And you see Caleb goes backwards. I can also, of course, just say directly Caleb go, say, forward. You want to make Caleb turn right 45 degrees. So I can do it in both ways. Both access the same turtle. But there is something pretty cool that I can do here. I can use a loop. I can say for... Y'all might get tired looking at the bottom of the screen. I want to bring this up a little bit. All right. So for... let's see here. I in range, and how many people did I have in my list again? I had 5, right? Now the indices will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's 5 different indices. And when you say for I in range 5, I will be each number from 0 up to, but not including 5. So it works perfectly. So I'm going to say family bracket I. And I will say dot forward 100. And we should be able to see that happen. Let's try it. Do you see everybody move? That's pretty cool, right? Now, let's try another one. It turns out you can do an even cooler thing. You can actually say instead of I in a range of numbers, you can actually let I be an actual list member. In which case, we usually use a variable name that stands for what they are. So I'm going to say for person. Now I can put X, I can put Y, I can put any variable I want there. But I'm going to use the variable name person. So for person in family. And now instead of person being the numbers, it's going to be the actual members of the family. And you'll notice I won't have to say family bracket anything this time. A person will be each different one. I'm just going to say person dot forward 100. And you see it does the same thing. Okay, this bears some pretty important consideration and thought. So let's take a minute and let's code this kind of thing in a program instead of interactive shell, and let's run our debugger on it. I think that's going to be really helpful to us. Okay, so I've got the program that we just wrote coded into a file called Tert Family. So I just want to look at this debugger here. It's going to be some weird stuff here. Just bear with me. I think this stuff's important. All right, I don't need to step into that. Let's just step over that. I'll create. There's me creating now. In order to see this window, it's going to be a little bit. You have to wait a second because it's going to be like not responding. But yes, it's not responding because I paused the program. All right. Then we're going to make another turtle here. And another, we're going to set its color. Let's go ahead and step into this one. There's a call to the class. And I want to show you this. Each one of these did this, but we stepped over it. So look what it does. It returns a turtle object at 0x03578930. That is the memory pointer or reference, I should say more accurately these days, to the turtle object. So if I was to open up my computer's memory, there is a turtle saved in its memory, and it has a numeric location. And that location is 0x03578930. The 0x means it's a hexadecimal, actually a base 16 number. So like digits go up beyond 9 into A, B, C, D, E, F. Much more on that later. But whatever it is, understand that while aura is a variable for a turtle, it is a real turtle object that is really being established in the memory of the computer. And so whenever I say aura, I'm pointing to this specific turtle object, okay? So we'll keep going. All right. There we go. And then let me get another turtle. You're going to see it's going to be it's always kind of a random number. It's going to make one up here for me. And then it's going to store that into loop. And one of the things, watch what happens to that loop variable. Watch what it shows. There's that turtle again. Now you can't actually code that. It's just showing you what it is. You can't actually go in there and put angle bracket turtle object that. But that's what your code is really doing. It's setting that specific turtle to that color. Okay. And then I think we get the idea. Now I want to let's step into this family thing here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep in mind that the order, the index, they would get it. The Jed is at index 0, Sue at 1, Aura at 2, Luke at 3, Caleb at 4. Well, this index is dependent on the order that I put them in, not the order I made it. So if I put Jed last, then Jed would be index 4. All right, I want you to step in and see. Watch what it's going to do. It's going to show you that's going to be a turtle. Sue's going to be a different turtle. Look at the fact they are different memory addresses, okay? So, and like I said, it's base 16, so don't be surprised if there's some letters. So I am 0374B9D0. My wife is at 0342B870. So just, let me go ahead and, step out of that. So you can imagine that it does that for all of them, okay? And it's going to store it right there in the family, okay? And now I want you to step into this and see, well, graphically what we're going to see is we're going to see each family member get moved here, okay? So first, I said for member in family. So what is member going to be right now? Do you remember that's me? That's Jed's location. So member is going to be each one of them, okay? And so you're going to see that family member is going to go right there. I'm actually calling forward on myself, okay? All right, and let's step out real quick. And it goes and it does all of them. So let me do that one more time. Oh, I stepped out too far. Oh, I went too fast. I want to go back into this. I didn't want to step out that far. So let me step into it. Step over that part. Okay. So I want you to see that's first thing it's going to do is run for me. Then it's going to run for my wife's character, Turtle. That's the orange one. Now we're going to see the red one go, which was located there. Do you see the red one? Now we're going to see the new one, the blue one go. Here goes the blue one. Okay, there's the green turtle last, and we're going to see the green turtle go. So each one of those, became each one of those values one at a time, taking on a different turtle. So really important that we're able to handle lists that work in that way, okay? All right, I am going to, I want to make a herd of sea turtles. Are you ready to make a sea turtle herd? Let's do that. It sounds fun to me. A herd of turtles. So let's make a new project, and we'll go ahead and save as, and wherever you are is fine. I'm going to call this first swim. Okay. I'll say from turtle import star. And I'm going to create what is called an empty list. So I've got an empty list. Turtles is a list. It's where I'm going to put all my turtles, and I put open, close bracket. Now, if I could list different turtles, but I can also add them one at a time as I make them. So a list is like any kind of list that you would make for going shopping. You can add things. I can remove from it, and I'll show you how to do that as that comes up. So I'm gonna make a painter turtle. Okay. So this turtle here is just going to be for painting. I'm going to hide him. All right. Painter.go to -400, -150. So I'm going to move my painter to down and to the left. Okay. And now I'll put his pin down. I did not want my painter to draw a line over it. And what I want to do is I'm going to make like a sandy beach. So I'm going to say my painter turtle, painter.color will be coral. That's kind of a cool color. And we're going to let's begin the fill. And for I in range 4, I'm going to be making a square. Or a rectangle, actually. Painter.forward. No, it'll be a square. 480. And then painter.right 90 degrees. And then painter.infill. So basically, I know you're kind of like, wait, what are you doing, Wilshire? Let me pull up what we've got so far. So what's going to happen is this turtle's going to appear somewhere in this area here. What color am I right now? Okay, he's going to be coral, all right? And we're going to move him down over here to -400. I'm not sure what the initial size of the screen is. I bet it's way over here though. I bet it's on the far left corner. And I'm gonna go forward 480, and I'm gonna turn right, and I'm probably gonna go way below the screen and come back, and then all that is gonna be filled in. We're gonna color all that in. Okay, so that's what Painter's doing. I'm using my for loop to make it so I don't have to say painter forward, painter right, painter forward, painter right. But you've done this, right? You've changed colors, you've moved, you've pinned up. The only difference is I'm doing it on a specific turtle. And all the while I've got that turtle list I made at the top. Probably don't know why yet, but you will soon. All right, so I'm going to draw the ocean now. You ready? We're going to draw the ocean. So painter.pinup. And you know what? Let's do some comments. Okay, let's do some comments. So it would be good. This is me drawing this is the code that I did for. So if I do that hashtag, it's going to be ignored by the computer. I'm just going to say draw seashore, or maybe the beach, right? And then this down here, this is where I'm going to be drawing the sea. So you can imagine I'm going to switch my color to blue. So I already got painter pinup. I already done that. Okay, painter.go to 80, -250. It's good to comment your code. So you come back later, you're like, wait, what am I doing? Oh, I'm drawing a sea. I'm drawing a seashore. Okay, that makes sense. let's make the color blue. We got to put the pin back down though, right? And let's begin the fill. So I can make another filled in area here. And then I'll say for I in range 4, what do you think I'm making here, right? Making a square, big square. Painter.forward 400. Painter.right 90. And then I'll end the fill. Painter.infill. All right, now I'm going to create 20 turtles. I'm going to make one turtle that's huge, okay, and then I'll make a bunch of little baby turtles, all right? Create 20 turtles, and then watch how I add them to my list that I made before. Maybe I should have declared that list later on, but I started right here. This list, all right, it's a list. Right now it's blank. There's no turtles in it. I'm about to add a bunch of turtles, okay? So here we go. For I in range 20. That's going to make 20 turtles. I'm going to say turt equals turtle. Turt.hide turtle. Turt.color green. I'm going to make this a green turtle. If I is equal to 0. So I in range 20, I is going to be every single number from 0 up to, but not including 20. So remember with a range function, if you give it just one number, it means I want you to have the number go from 0 up to, but not including this, and count up to it. So it'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 19. So the first turtle, though, I want the first turtle to be really, really big, okay? So the first turtle is going to be different than the other turtles. That's what I'm saying. So if I is equal to 0, that means I'm making my first turtle. So I'm going to say this turtle here, turtle size 2. Okay. Now, that's an if statement, right? We've talked about that. So if that's true, I do this. Notice that I have now put my cursor back to the left. So now I'm outside of that. So I'm going to do all this code for I of each one of these numbers. The only bit of code that I'm going to do only when I is 0 is that code right there that makes it big. And I'm going to explain more in just a second. Turt.pinup. Turt.goto. Negative I times 20 minus 145. I'll come back to explain that one. Turt.speed. Turt.showTurtle. And one more line of code before I go back and explain it all. But I kind of want you to have it down. You can pause the video and code it in, but I don't want you coding while you're thinking. All right, and right now I want you to think. So pause it, get it copied down, and then think. You can also get it from my Introduction to Computer Science Using Turtle. That's on my Computer Science 1 webpage. It's on page 30, okay? Just Google my name. Anyway. Okay, so hopefully you got all that in. Now, there's a lot going on here. We talked about the fact that we're going to have I go from 0 up to, but not including 20. That means I'm going to repeat all of this code here 20 times. But one line of code only happens the first time when I is 0. All I'm basically doing, except for that one turtle that I make turtle size 2, which will make them bigger, is that I set the turtle's color to, I create a turtle, set its color to green, and then I move the turtle to a specific place. I tell the turtle to go to negative I times 20 on the X. So they're all going to go to negative 145, which you may have remembered from, well, no, it's actually kind of in between the sea and the beach. But this value here is saying that the first turtle is just going to go to 0, right? The first turtle that I make, when I is 0, this is 0. It'll just go to 0, negative 145. But when I is 1, it's actually going to go to negative 20. And then when I is 2, it'll go to negative 40. So each turtle is going to go a little bit further back than the one before it, creating a line of turtles. All right, then after I finally get in the right position, I set their speed what I want it to be, and now I'm ready to show the turtle. I didn't want to show it while I was doing all that stuff. And then I do this, turtles.append. So I've got a list, okay? I've got this, so my list here is called turtles. And I made it with this blank list. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to create a turtle called Turt. And if you go through, and I'm not going to do the debugger right now, but you can, Turt is going to become a new turtle. So it's going to be some turtle at some, like, 8, 7, some location in the memory. And then I'm going to append that turtle to the list. So my list of turtles is going to have that turtle in it. Okay? And that's going to stay there. Then when I becomes a 2, what's going to happen is I'm going to change what Turt, the variable Turt is. Turt's going to become a brand new turtle. Every time I say Turt equals turtle, so when I is equal to 2 and I run this code again, Turt's going to become a brand new turtle. It'll be like OX493876. Every time that runs that code right there, every time it runs that, it makes a brand new turtle that appears somewhere in the memory. I then do all that stuff to it, and I put it in the list. And so my list of turtles is getting longer. Now, Turt, the last time I run the code, Turt's changing each time to a different new turtle, but I'm keeping track of them in my list, and that's what a list can do. Okay. Whew. All right, we are almost done. You ready? I am ready to go for a swim. Go for a swim. We have a big old family of turtles now, so let's do this. I'm going to say for Turt, I'll just say for T. For T in turtles. So as we saw earlier, T is going to become every single turtle in my turtle list one at a time. Okay? So I've already shown the turtles, so they should be there, right? I'm going to just simply say T dot go to 90, negative 145. So I'm going to make them all go to that one point. Then I'm going to say, I'm going to increase their speed a little bit, and we'll see how that works. Then I'll make them go to 110, negative 135. And if you're wondering where I'm getting this, I sit there and play with these numbers, okay? I practiced until I got it just the way I liked it. And that's what you're going to do when you have to do something like this. All right. I think we're finally ready to run this. Okay, so let me run the code and let's see what happens. Okay, there's me drawing my beach. Oh, hold on. I misspelled the word color. Who saw that in the video? You should have said something. I could have heard you. All right, running it again. All right, so far so good. Oh, there's my water. Okay. Did I do a turn again? Oh, that's Turt. All right. Well, aren't you all enjoying watching me debug all this? Well, there they are. Oh, I never changed their shape, though. It's pretty cute, though. Little arrows, right? Well, I'm not liking that. I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to change their shape. Let's make their shape. Hold on. Turt.shape turtle. By the way, if you're having trouble following along, copying in this code, watching me, and having to fix those couple of errors, please just download the book, Introduction to Computer Science Using Turtle, from my computer science webpage. Google Jed Wilshire, you'll find it. But it's also fun to code with you. All right, I'm going to try again. So, come on. I'll see if I can get it just the way I want it. Now, hopefully they're going to be turtles. I'm hoping. I'm hoping they're turtles. There they go. That's what I want. I want them to be turtles. All right, now we should see each turtle go for something. You see the mama turtle got the little baby turtles. There they go. Woo! And you can see I had them go up a little bit from negative 145 to 135, so they're kind of jumping, right? That's why I did that on the go-to. And look how each one of them is doing that code. Now, each one has to go a little bit longer because I'm using go-to instead of forward. When I say go-to, it'll go to a specific XY value. I hope you're imagining. I hope your mind is going right now. What could you do? What kind of power do you now have to be able to control all these different turtles? Put them in, and sometimes you want to put them in a list. Sometimes you don't. You know, if you want each different turtle to do something different, then you probably don't want to put them in a list. But if you want to have a bunch of turtles like do a parade, you got to put them. You know, put them in a list is just huge time saver because all that code I did. Do you think of how long? I mean, this was long code, but think of how long it would take me to code each and every single one of those turtles by hand. Instead, all I had to do was lines 39 through 45. Just boom, and I'm done. It would be nice to add a splash, right? Um, or something like that, like a different animation, and well, but we're not quite there yet because we still got a lot more graphics to learn, a lot more methods to learn. That was really fun. I hope you enjoyed that. I wanted to get into something different and neat. All right. Well, thanks for joining me on this journey, and I will see you next time.